It is official. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed Kwon Alexander to a contract. So, this is per multiple sources like Brooke Pryor, Gary Dulac, Mike Florio, and many others. The Steelers brought in Kwon Alexander a few weeks back, but never signed him. People thought because he left without a contract that they would not sign him, but Steelers now officially get him, and it's a steal because what the Steelers have been missing has been a coverage linebacker. They have many people on their roster who could go up and lay the boom on the running back or lay the boom on the quarterback. But what they've been missing is a guy to drop into man-to-man coverage or into zone coverage and actually be able to guard. And now they get that with Kwon Alexander. So Kwon Alexander, throughout his career, he started with the San Francisco 49ers, then he moved on to the New Orleans Saints, and then most recently, he's been with the New York Jets. And now, this season, he'll be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, the Steelers this offseason have redone their whole inside linebacker room. They got rid of Devin Bush to free agency, and then they also cut Miles Jack, and they redid their whole inside linebacker room. The only guy returning from last season is Mark Robinson. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have many inside linebackers on their roster. Let me name them. Cole Holcomb, Elandon Roberts, Mark Robinson, Tanner Moose, Kwiatkowski, and now Kwon Alexander. So now, just in case if you guys don't know much about Kwon Alexander, let me just give you some background information on actually who he is, where he came from, and what his career has looked like so far. So, Alexander has 590 combined tackles during stints with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the San Francisco 49ers, the New York Jets, and also the Saints. He also had 8 career interceptions. He spent 2022, like I said, with the New York Jets most recently, where he started 12 games total, but played in 17. And his last season, he finished with 69 total tackles, including 6 for a loss. He also added pass deflections and forced fumbles to the stat sheet. Ever since his time with the San Francisco 49ers, where throughout his tenure with them, he ended up getting injured with a torn ACL, he hasn't been exactly the same, but he has been able to get back a little bit to what he used to be. But with the San Francisco 49ers, in 2017, he was actually a Pro Bowler for them. And it was a year where he had a career-high 3 interceptions in 2017. But going back even further, in 2016, he led the NFL in solo tackles, that whole NFL, with 108, and had a career high during that season with 145 combined tackles. So even though I said at the beginning of this video, what he's going to bring to the team is something the Steelers don't have, which is man-to-man coverage and zone coverage, and something the Steelers have been lacking actually for the past few years, he's also been a guy who could actually make tackles. So even though he could coverage, he could also tackle and tackle at a high level. You've seen those stats, 145 and 108 solo is really big numbers, and he's someone who could do that at a high level if he's able to fully recover from his injury. So obviously the Steelers agree to a deal, but it's going to be based off his physical. And more than likely, they wouldn't agree to a deal if they didn't feel as though his physical will be passed. So in the near future, the next coming days, it's probably going to be officially signed. But Kwon Alexander, he's joining inside linebacker room, and now there's going to be battles even going on in training camp even further, and now the preseason to see who's going to be the starter. Most of us probably thought it was already set in stone that the starters were going to be Cole Holcomb and Elandon Roberts, and then the backup would have been Mark Robinson, and then the fourth inside linebacker, it would have been a battle between Tanner Moose and Kwiatkowski. But now, obviously, Kwon Alexander joins those battles. And if you remember, just actually earlier in the week, Omar Khan, in a press conference done at training camp, opening day, was asked about the inside linebacker position group. And he said if he felt as though there's someone out there who can make the team better, and if he feels as though the team needs to be able to sign someone, that he will do it. So obviously, he, Mike Tomlin, and the team felt as though Kwon Alexander is that guy and that the team needed him. They wouldn't have signed him if they don't believe in him and if he probably won't make the roster. So I believe 100% that he'll be made the roster, the final 53, and he even has a chance to be a starter. I believe if things goes well, him, Kwon Alexander, and Cole Holcomb will end up being the starters for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season, and Mark Robinson and Elandon Roberts will be the backups, and Tanner Moose and Kwiatkowski probably won't make the team unless it's a practice squad. But obviously, battles will be going on in training camp and the preseason. But when healthy, Alexander, he can be an impact player for the Steelers, and he was an impact player previous years with the Saints, the Jets, and obviously the San Francisco 49ers. So, just in case if you want some more background information on Kwon Alexander, he was an LSU product who went drafted in the 4th round pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, and is coming off his offseason with the 2nd highest Pro Football Focus grade since 2017. So, even though, like I said, he's still recovering from ACL injury to get fully back, we know it usually takes 2 full years. He had 1 full year back, so this will be his 2nd full year going into his 3rd. We've seen his numbers, they've been getting better, and Pro Football Focus, PFF, has graded him so. So last season, he was an impact player with the Jets, and hopefully now he comes in with the Steelers and is actually able to help the group. Elandon Roberts, Mark Robinson, Cole Holcomb, they can lay the boom, and now in passing downs, or even all 3 downs, Kwon Alexander, when matched up against other tight ends, or maybe even a slot receiver sometimes here and there, and running backs coming out in the backfield, hopefully he's able to hold his own like Devin Bush, Miles Jack weren't able to do the past few seasons. Whenever the running back got matched up on a inside linebacker, we knew it was going to go for a big play. Whenever a wide receiver got matched up on our inside linebacker, we knew it would go for a big play. A tight end matched up on our inside linebacker, we knew it would go for a big play. So hopefully now, Kwon Alexander, he's actually able to hold his own and not allow those big plays that we've been seeing our inside linebackers give up for many years now since Ryan Shazier went down with that terrible injury. What this also means is probably that Mark Robinson won't see that much time on the field this season. Last season, his rookie year, when he got drafted in the 7th round, he barely saw the field until the very end of the season against the Ravens, where the Steelers needed him to play some run defense. But like Terrell Austin said, Mark Robinson, maybe next year, he could fight for a starting job. But now, with those 3 guys ahead of him, Elandon Roberts, Holcomb, and Kwon Alexander, if he actually does good, Mark Robinson probably won't see the field as much like he didn't in his rookie season. But with that being said, this addition of Kwon Alexander, I believe, will really help out the team. But that's the end of this video. Let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about the signing? Do you like what Kwon Alexander could bring to the Steelers? Do you believe that he brings something new to the Steelers in terms of coverage? Or do you believe the Steelers should not have signed him, should have looked elsewhere, or probably not even looked at anyone else and stuck with the guys they already had on their roster? Or do you like the addition and think he could help the team? Let me know your thoughts on the signing that just happened today. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content and analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for his channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post next year's video. Click the bell down below so you never miss out. So, I've been covering everything for the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason, starting all the way back to the draft, free agency, undrafted guys signing with the team, and now training camp. I made some highlight videos talking about training camp and me just breaking down the training camp day 1, day 2, day 3. They're on the channel. Go ahead and watch it. And moving forward into the preseason, regular season, I'm covering it all. This is the best spot for Pittsburgh Steelers news, rumors, and reports if you want to stay up to date and get the information as quick as possible. So like, comment, subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.